Hello everyone, Shindobin here playing some Starcraft in Hearthstone. Yes, in 2025 we do have Starcraft cards in this game, which is awesome. I've always wanted to see Starcraft in card game format. So this one I'm going to be playing as the Terran, who have the battleship building mechanic. It's kind of wonky, but a lot of fun. So these are all of the cards available to the warrior class. And each of the three Starcraft factions can be played with multiple classes. And there's a couple unique cards for each class, making the gameplay a little bit different. So for Terran, the unique ones are the Yamato Cannon piece, which destroys a random enemy. You also got a powerful endgame minion, the Thor, which gets more powerful the more battleships you launch prior to playing this one. So yeah, you got cards that can reduce the cost of your next starship, like the SCV. You got the Starport, which can give you a random aircraft that doesn't do anything when it comes into play, but when it dies, it becomes part of your Battlecruiser, which gains all of the abilities of those pieces when launched. You've got this handy spell, which allows you to draw some Terran cards and give you a starship piece. The Ghost can snipe an enemy card in their hand. And Jim Raynor, the hero, relaunching all the Battlecruisers that you launched that game. And then Stimpack summons a Marine and then buffs all of your Terran cards in play. You can have a total of 15 Terran cards in your deck, and then the other 15 cards will just have to be other non-StarCraft cards. But I tried to make a deck that was both fun and, as much as possible, had sort of like sci-fi themed cards in there. So let's go ahead and play a match here.
And I'm actually just going to show you the highlight from one of the matches I played. So here we are at the end game. We're playing it against Protoss Priest, and they are playing the strongest Protoss card in the entire arsenal, the Mothership, which gives you 2 random Protoss cards in your hand when played, and also when it dies it gives you 2 more. It's a 10-10 with taunt, so quite powerful. And Protoss have a lot of ways of reducing the cost of their expensive cards. They also just play some delicious cheese to summon some random minions. They got a little sentry deploying to the field as well. Meanwhile, on my side I have a pretty nice board state here, so got the legendary Exodar in play, which had launched one of my battlecruisers initially, giving me the starship pieces back to my hand right there. The Yamato Cannon at only 1 cost. It destroys a random enemy. And I got very lucky here, just happening to destroy the strongest card on the enemy field, allowing the rest of my minions to go to town, just smashing through the enemy ranks. And whenever my starship pieces die, they just get added to the Battlecruiser, which has had its cost reduced, so I only need to spend 3 mana to bring it out. Nexus Prince Shafar coming out. That's a fun one that combos with spells that can buff cards in your hand and use that ability repeatedly. The Battlecruiser now only costs 0 mana to bring out, but we're going to hold off until the enemy's next turn to see what they do here. In my hand I have some of the most powerful endgame cards. We got the Thor there, we got Jim Raynor ready to go to relaunch those Battlecruisers. Again, we've got the 1 more Yamato Cannon, which only costs 1 to play. I actually have 2 Thors and a Ghost as well. They play a High Templar, zapping everything on my board for 2 damage. And they also actually just have 2 of them in hand, which I assume they both got from the Mothership, because Priest does not actually have the Templar normally. Playing 2 Templar morphs them into an Archon, which is a very powerful card. It deals 8 damage to the enemy hero at the end of the turn, and 2 damage to all the minions. So managing to just completely wipe out my entire board there. They're putting a little location down as well that can copy one of my cards. The Archon finishes off the Exodar there, leaving nothing but the Battlecruiser under construction in play. I start off with the Ghost here, because in order to activate the ability you do have to have a Battlecruiser under construction. And then we go ahead and launch this massive Battlecruiser. So here it comes. It's an 11-8 with Divine Shield. The cannon just blasts that Archon away. And then we put out a little totem there at the end of the turn. Still have all those big powerful cards in the hand ready to go, and drawing another Ghost. And scrolling over the Battlecruiser, you can see all of the starship parts that it's made up of, giving it all of those different abilities. The enemy decides to actually make a copy of that Battlecruiser, which only costs 1, and then it uses the Yamato Cannon to kill the Ghost. It doesn't seem to have gotten as many abilities as mine for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why, like all of the other starship pieces didn't activate on that one. I'm guessing my opponent was kind of confused by that as well. They bring out a Dark Templar, which destroys the Battlecruiser. It's a 5-3 with stealth. However, my battlecruiser had reborn, so it comes back, and it still has divine shield. With the timer running down, my opponent is not actually able to spend all of their mana. They just barely get out a mass dispel, which just removes the divine shield from my battlecruiser. Just drew ETC, but we're going to go ahead and play Jim Raynor here. So out come the two starships, or the two battlecruisers that I launched previously in this game, and they're the rockets going off, just all the individual starship pieces going off. Use the stim pack to spawn a marine, and buff everything, giving +2 attack to all of the Terrans on the field. So now we have 3 battlecruisers, all of them massive, 2 of them with divine shield, 1 with wind fury and lifesteal. And my opponent tries to, well, he gets a copy of, I guess, Jim Raynor, which actually would not help my opponent at all, because he hasn't actually launched any starships this game, unfortunately, so that doesn't do anything for him. And, well, there's not a whole lot I think you can do against all these battlecruisers, unless you have a board wipe. Does use the warp gate to reduce the cost of the next Protoss card by 3, and then brings out another mothership.
You got some moves.
But, yeah, again, not a whole lot you can do, and unfortunately I was not able to bring out the Thor before my opponent surrendered. Would have been fun to see that, because that would have launched several rockets dealing 5 damage each. Just crazy amounts of stuff coming out for the Terrans at the end of the game here. So that gives you an idea of what the ideal Terran endgame looks like. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.